Welcome back to It's Life Loudly.
Where life is messy, imperfect, and worth sharing.
We're Dalton and Kristen Steichen, and we are excited to share stories and our experiences.
Ones that might inspire, motivate, and hopefully make you laugh.
We are not experts on this thing called life.
We're just here chatting about it.
It's
life loudly.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to It's Life Loudly.
Hello.
We are back. You're back. We're glad to have you back. Or if this is your first time listening, welcome to our podcast where we just hang out and sit around and chat about something. What's your joys and your heart this week, Steichen?
Well, we had a sleepover with my Grandma Gloria last night and Grandpa Dean, so that was fun. All of us grandkids went there, or most of us grandkids went there to surprise her.
Yeah, it was kind of funny when they were talking about this. People thought we meant like grandkids, like the little kids, like our kids.
That would be great grandkids.
And people were, I know, but whenever we just talk about the grandkids, typically we're talking about the little kids. And so when people found out it was, no, actually you.
Yep.
Yeah, a couple of people asked me today where you were, and I was like, he's having a sleepover at his grandma's. And they looked at me like, what? And I was like, I'm serious. Like, went there just to have a sleepover with his grandparents and hang out with them for an evening and a night.
Had fun. It was a good time.
Yeah, I bet you they loved it.
Yeah, I think they did.
So, okay, so like I saw the video. How did you get them to come to the door?
Well, we rang the doorbell, and I have another video because it took forever. Grandpa was downstairs. Well, I'm going to rewind here. So first off, we parked like way down the street. And I'm like, I even said it. I'm like, guys, we could pull up in there. We could park in their driveway. They're not going to know we're here. And they wouldn't have. But I mean, better safe than sorry. So we walked up, rang the doorbell. We're all standing there. And it's like, nobody's coming. Nobody's coming. Nobody's coming. Ring it again. Like it took a little bit. And Grandpa, he was downstairs taking a nap. He comes up. And he was like, what in the world? And we're like, hey, where's Grandma?
So because he didn't know you were coming either.
No, nobody knew. He called me when I was on my way there. What are you doing? What's going on? And I'd like play it off.
That's funny. Yeah, because then was he like, whoa, what are you guys doing here?
Yeah, they both had funny faces. Yeah.
That's funny. So talk about I can't get over the cocoa wheats. I just can't get over that.
Oh, they're so good.
They had, apparently that's traditional grandma breakfast is cocoa
wheats and buttered toast.
Cocoa wheats and buttered toast.
You put a little bit of milk and sugar, quite a bit of sugar. Oh, I'm yawning. Sorry. You put a bunch of sugar in there, and yeah, it tastes good.
So this week was homecoming week, and I know like a year goes by and you just kind of forget how things go, but is it normally this nice out in the fall?
I actually thought it was, but yeah. I mean, sometimes it's a little colder, but not usually.
Like
it was actually windier than normal the other day.
It's in the 80s.
No, it's always warm.
Really? Because like once we roll around my birthday, so it was my birthday. That was another joy. I just love birthdays. I like going to work on my birthday, and everybody's talking to you, and the kids are all singing happy birthday to you. And my daughter and her friends decorated my classroom with like streamers and balloons and the whole thing. And I just love all that. I love it. But anyway, I don't remember it ever really being like once in a while, yes, but typically I do not remember it being this warm on my birthday week. Yeah, and for like homecoming. Like I feel like we're already all bundled up in vests and hats and gloves, and
it goes both ways.
Yeah, so I guess
it's coming, weather. The extended forecast shows 50s and 60s coming.
So like the weather this week was a big high, just like, and I'm like, where was this weather in July? Like, why couldn't we have this then? I don't get it. But I guess my hard is that teaching during homecoming week is pretty, pointless. I try to keep things very light and very like minimal with not like too many major new concepts being taught and learned, because kids are coming to school in funny outfits and everybody's traveling to games, and like it's a lot of, and it's just fun, and I think that's okay.
Zero distractions.
Which another joy. So I noticed this year, we talked about this on one of our podcasts, but I noticed this year, especially for homecoming events, the significance of kids not having their cell phones. So like normally like in the morning we go play.
How is that going, by the way?
In the morning, as far as I know, we've only had one violation, which surprises me. I thought that it would be way more of an uproar or whatever. But like in the morning, we always go play powder puff football. So it's when the girls play football at the football field.
Flag football.
And normally, like kids will be in the stands watching their phones or whatever because, like, you know, we're outside or whatever. I did not see one kid. And I was like walking around and taking pictures. Like the majority, and maybe there was a couple
Were
that
they
I
allowed
just
to have their
didn't.
phones?
No,
Oh, okay.
no. Well, and so the rules were different. So 10 through 12th graders have what's called like open mods where like it's like their free hours basically. And so like and we were outside the school building, but it was technically still part of the school day, so it was a little kind of gray area of like I don't know, are kids going to push it or are they not going to push it? Like who knows, but like kids were standing right on the sidelines of the football field. They were screaming and hollering and cheering the whole time.
And that
Like
never
there
happens.
was I won't say that it never happens. And like last year, I guess was my first full homecoming, so maybe it was all just. But I just remember a lot more last year of people just kind of sitting back and watching, not really like participating and like being an active participant in like the cheering and the yelling and the excitement.
Yep.
Like the whole football team was like front and center, like watching, yelling out plays to the girls and trying to get them to do like football stuff and just like it was really interactive. And even like when we went back to the gym and like during the pep rally with like the little kids there and like I just felt like our high school kids were really like interactive with them and like the activities going on in the games, like everybody like we have competition games that everybody was like normally there's just like people just have like a chip on their shoulder, like, oh, this is so dumb. This is so not cool. Boo. Like party poopers. I feel like there's just usually a large group of those. And like, I didn't sense that
Good.
at all. And whether it's just because we have a really great group of kids going through this year or because they don't have that distraction of like feeling they need to. I don't know. I don't see it on the day-to-day basis as much because I teach junior high and so they've never been allowed to have them anyway, so it's not really a change for them. But I mean, we just talked about like how kids are a little more engaged and a little more like they sit and talk to each other at the lunch tables and they talk to each other walking down the hall instead of staring down at. I don't know. I think it's a good thing. So it was just really fun to see kids just have fun this week and like we teachers could just kind of have fun along with them and it's just and it was so nice outside and everything. It was just fun to be a part of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my joy. And then it's always like my birthday week, so it's just like party all week long.
Yep.
Let's just party all week long, which is great. Just throw it all in at once so that next week we can get back to maybe a little more structure, a little more normal, and that'll be good too. So that's kind of my joy and kind of a hard altogether. Do you have a hard?
I have a hard. I'm tired
You
right
are
now.
obviously tired. You are yawning like crazy.
Sorry. Hard. Boy. I don't know.
The camper. The list of things that keep becoming wrong with our camper.
Well, it's dropped off. So
I was listening to a podcast just like yesterday or 2 days ago and they had talked about how they just got their first travel trailer and they're like it's already in the shop and I'm like is that just a thing?
I think it's just
like you get your camper and you like live in it for a couple months, you utilize it and then you just make the list of like this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is broke, this is needs to be, and then you just take it back in for its service.
That's why they got warranty.
So did you give them the list?
Nobody was there. They were closed.
So are we gonna have to like call somebody and be like, "Hey, did you actually get our list and do the things on our list?"
Well, I mean, eventually, maybe.
Yeah, because it just seemed like that list was getting
I
longer.
don't think they're gonna get
longer
to
and
look at
longer
it until for like a week.
Well, it's the end of the season now, so I guess it can hang out there.
That's what I said. I said we're really in no hurry.
Yeah, do it well. Get it all fixed.
Yep.
correctly, please. So yeah, that'd be my only
Harvest
other hard.
starts tomorrow for the fall crops. Hopefully
ready to roll?
Hopefully that's not hard.
Hopefully it's a joy, not a hard.
Right.
Yeah. Well, the little one is excited.
Oh yeah, he went right to bed. He's
Yeah.
going with Dad tomorrow.
Yeah,
He's probably more excited than any of us.
probably. All right, you ready to dive into our chat
Yeah,
today?
what are we talking about?
So a question came across my, I don't know, my communications
Comments.
a while ago, and I don't know what podcast the question stemmed from. I don't remember what episode we were on or what we were talking about, but they asked us. They have really young kids, like really little kids, and they said like, how can we set up our family, or like, what are some things we can do to like make sure you're incorporating your faith and the gospel and following Jesus Christ, like as like, how do you build your systems and your routines and your whatever so that like you're doing that as just like part of your family life so your kids grow up with that stuff. And I was like, wow, that would be a fun thing to talk about. And I thought it was a really good timing right now to talk about that, is because last week we talked about Dalton and I being teenagers, and we emphasized, well, at least I hope we emphasized, we tried to emphasize like when we were dating, like it was very important for both of us to be involved in faith-based activities. So we went to different youth groups together, we went to church together, we and even when we went to we went to winter conference together through college. And I was going to say that even through college, like you came to like some, like I went to, I'm sure your college had ministry stuff too, but I guess the college I went to was kind of known for its Christian based stuff. But like I even spoke at a crew event once, and I'm pretty sure you came and listened to me.
Sure, I did.
And like your face was even on the poster. I remember that. Like I spoke for like a chapel crew
My
night
name
event.
was on the poster.
Your face. They used a picture of the two of us together as like my promotional picture. They like stolen off of Facebook or something like that. But like, so like, yeah, you came to me like with me or watch me when like we do that. Like you watched me give sermons a couple times. And so that's, I guess that is my first tip. If you're wanting to build your family in a faith based direction, is like you and your spouse obviously have to be on the same page for making that a priority. It's really hard when just one person is really into it, one person's not, or if you're, I think it would be really hard to be married to somebody even with a different religious background than you. I don't know what that dynamic would look like. So that was just a priority for us. And then when we came back, we were like married. I don't even know if we were married yet when we started church shopping.
No, I don't think we were.
I don't think we were married. So when we were engaged but we would come back home sometimes on the weekends. And I
was home.
Okay. I would come back home on the weekends and we would try out different churches in the community. So do you remember like in the paper, I like cut out like all of the churches in the area, and it's listed.
I only remember going to 2 of
them. I mean, we definitely didn't go to them all because there's like 15.
Well, we liked the second one we went to.
No.
That's how I remember it.
I think we went to 5.
5?
Well, at least I did. Because I think, did I go some places by myself? Because I remember going somewhere with like a different family member once. That I don't know if you ever went to that one. I remember going to the 2 that we had gone to a little bit in high school.
I'm not really counting those. You've already been there.
Maybe. But I think I went to them again with like fresh eyes of like, do I want to be here? Or like, could I see, do I see myself being a part of this? And so we were doing that, and I like cut out the little clippings and I like highlighted a couple and like put it on the fridge, and that's kind of like how we did that. And then Oh my gosh, we have a guest on our podcast.
Come on in.
Come on in. Come
Express
say
your
hi.
thoughts.
She just waves. She's not saying anything. Hello. Hello, Jesus. What were we talking about?
I've no idea.
I remember when we went to the church that we currently go to for the first time. I remember walking in and feeling really welcomed. I remember a lot of people came up and talked to us. I remember meeting some of like the leadership.
Well, I remember there was one thing that we both really kind of said that stood out, and it was the amount of young people.
Yeah, there was a lot of people like our age. Well, not even maybe our age, because I think we still are some of the young people there, but a lot of people with kids.
Yeah.
A lot of families with kids, and it seemed like that was a big priority. And I'm a person like I don't want to just walk into church, sit down in my pew, be quiet, listen, and then go home. Like I want to interact and I want to be involved and I want to be part of
we're involved.
The service. I want to be part of I want to live church, like which is just personally how I think it's supposed to be. And so I just out of all the places that we had been to, I just felt that there. And then I don't even think because it took a long time for us to even become members, but like even like right away, I don't think we had been going there very long, and they threw us in like a wedding shower.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? I don't even know if we were married.
No.
I don't know if it was before we were married. They threw us like in a happy engagement, and like they made us they got us a cake, and like some of the women like gave me some like gifts or gift cards or whatever, and I'm like, we literally like
we weren't there very long.
I'm like, I don't think we were there that long, and I'm like, I feel like I don't even like know you guys, and like you were just like very happy that we were there, and
we weren't even getting married there.
No, we weren't even getting married there. Like, I don't think we really even invited any of them. I mean, it was past that point. Either we
were very close to getting married.
Right. Either this was like, like we hadn't even invited any of them. We hadn't known any of them even long enough to really even invite them to our wedding. Yeah. And so it was just, I don't remember, if that party was right before or right after our wedding, but I just thought that was really nice that they, they did that. And then it wasn't very long after that I started getting involved. Probably, I think I played piano for the worship band first. I think that was the first thing that I did that was like...
Yeah, and I was like, no thanks. I sat in the car and slept.
And you sat in the car and slept. And boy, what a...
It's like, I don't want nothing to do with that because I'm the type of person that doesn't want to get involved.
You're the type, yeah. Yeah. And I feel like that was also probably... Yeah.
And then I started coming in and watching and listening. And then before you know it was, oh, Dalton, you can play drums.
Is that what you did first, was play drums?
Yes. And I was like, no, I'm not playing drums. And then a month later, I was playing drums.
Yeah. And then it just kind of evolved from there. But I feel like your attitude got much better about it. Like you had a really
I did not have a great attitude. No.
Like I don't think at that time, I don't know if either of us were... Like we've gone through waves of like walking in our faith life of like it going well, it going not so well. I think that was a period of time for you that it was not going well.
I agree.
And I think just things evolved. But then, so for us specifically, our first children physically came out of that church.
Yep.
Like we got connected with, I'm just call them mentors. It was never like defined like, hey, we're your mentors, but we connected with a married couple very early on, and they invited us to everything. They helped us feel included. They invited us to their house. They invited us to their life group. We would stay at their house until like 2 a.m. sometimes, playing games and doing whatever. And we were listening to their story about starting foster care and this, that, and the next thing. And like, that was the same time we were starting our adoption journey. And like, go back to listen to episode 1 if you want to know more about that. That's how the podcast started in the first place. But then it just like evolved into this thing. And then physically we adopted the kids from their home. And so when that all happened,
not their kids.
Well, the kids
I know.
we adopted our kids from straight from their home. And so like and when we did that, I kind of had this like thought, I'm like, is it going to be hard? Is it going to be hard for us to go to like church, and like is it going to be hard for our kids to see like their old family all the time? Like is that like I honestly like I
Yep.
had a little bit of worry at one point. I was like, are we going to have to change churches? Are we going to have to like separate ourselves? Like is this going to be too difficult? But like I don't know, it just wasn't. It wasn't
No,
ever
not at all.
like like I remember after the first like week the kids stayed with us, they were very excited to see their foster parents, and they went up to church and hugged them probably, and like sat with them a little bit, which is like I'm like this is great. Like they know that like we always wanted to be on the same team. We always wanted to be on the same team, and I remember our church like invited us up after it was like all public and the kids knew, and like they prayed over us, they prayed for our families together, like their family and our family, and like knowing how like big of a change that this was going to be even for their family and their kids, because their kids were still little. They were used to two other kids being in their house, and now it was just going back to the two of them. It wasn't four of them anymore. So there was just a lot of it was just such an encouraging environment. And so like how I guess going into like how do you create an environment in your home where like church, faith, and whatever is priority, the people that you spend the most time with, I'm not going to say that they have to be people that go to your church, but as adults, the people that you spend the most time with should be people with similar faith like beliefs, backgrounds. I don't know what you call I don't know what else you want to call it. So like
Morals.
you like a lot of people I hear a lot of parents say all the time, they're like, I really hope my kids get in with a good crowd. I really hope my kids get in the right group of friends. I really hope my kids like find the good role models. Do you know how they do that first? By you as the parent being friends with the role models. Like you as the parent need to have friendships and relationships with other adults who are raising their kids with the same mindset as you. Like, we can't expect our kids to find these great relationships if we ourselves, as the adults, don't have great relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Is that making sense what I'm saying?
Yes, it is.
Like, that is, to me, is where it starts. It starts with you and your spouse being on the same page, and it starts with you and your spouse creating friendships and creating, like, if you want to have a faith like home, you want to have a faith based home where faith is a huge priority in your home, you need to be involved in a church. You need to be active in that church. And the people that you spend time with should be people coming out of that church.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just my personal opinion. It's very hard, I think, to just create it in your own home. And then when your kids go out in the world, they don't see it anywhere else other than in your own home. It's going to be very hard for them to create those connections with those, I don't know, with those friend groups. So like even when we're, and I'm not saying we don't hang out with people that don't go to our church. We hang out with a lot of people that don't go to our church.
Yeah. We
Our
hang out with all kinds of people.
our kids hang out with people that don't go to our church. But like when we are at like a public event, okay, we were at a volleyball game. Who did we sit by? People from our church. When we show up to the football game, who do we end up talking to? The people from our church. Who do we end up like it just like I don't know, like-minded people gravitate towards like-minded people. I don't know.
Well, it's just the friend group that we're in.
It's a because we created it to
Right.
be that way. You know what I
I mean,
mean?
it's no different than our friend group at school. We still had other friends. We still talked to other people, but it wasn't like the friend group.
Yeah, we just so and maybe that's a better way of saying what I'm trying to say is like if you want your friend group needs to be people who have similar faith-based mindsets as you if you want that to be a thing in your family.
Well, I think you can say you need to have a very good and consistent and well, I don't know what else I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say church family. That's what it
Right.
boils down to. Also,
Yeah. And so then that book kind of like rolls us into like, okay, so we've established that. Like so Dawn and I are a young couple, young family. We've established our place. We've established our whatever. And so now we need to create routines. So I don't know if it was before we had kids that you and I started leading
mm-mm.
a life class, or was that after kids?
Downstairs,
Mm-hmm. Sunday school,
right?
basically.
Um, I think that was after.
So that's the next thing is like creating routines and things that are involving you in faith like activities. So Dalton and I started leading the high school youth age Sunday school class. Now I'm not saying everybody is meant to be a teacher. Like
Well,
I don't
I am
agree.
not meant to be down there teaching. Like that is not me. I am just kind of there.
It's kind of there.
I'm just saying, like me teaching, it doesn't happen.
Right.
Sad to say.
But I still like I think when you sub for me or when I can't be there, I think you do fine.
Well, I'm not saying I don't, but if I was doing that every week, let's just say I wouldn't be.
And so like you and I both do that. We're on the worship team together, but there are other ways that you can serve in your church that don't involve those kinds of things. Like maybe like we have a whole list now going out of like who's helping provide a different variety of morning fellowship snacks. I will run as far away as I can from that list. But did you notice the snacks like this morning were
I
different?
wasn't there.
You weren't there today. Okay, so they started like more of a rotation of like people bringing snacks or whatever that we had. There was sausage this morning. There was different meats and cheeses. There was
Hmm.
like I don't know if someone like homemade these or like bought them, but like 5 different kinds of Coogan.
Hmm.
Yeah, so you missed out on
Missed
that.
out.
I don't eat Coogan, but everybody looked like they thought it was great. But anyway, so like people are like, "Oh, I signed up for snacks." Or like that is not me. I am not signing up to bring food. I will teach Sunday school all day long before I have to bake a baked good to bring anywhere. So those are just some examples of like I don't know, you got to find a way to get involved. Your kids need to see you being involved in church if you want them to have that a priority. They have to see it. They have to see you participating. They have to see you being active because they're going to follow in their footsteps. And so, ever since that I can remember, and I don't know if it's just because of the connection that our kids specifically have with people in our church, our kids have never fought, argued, or anything about church.
No, never once.
Our
They
kids
love
are
church.
excited to go to church.
They'll argue if we're missing church.
Yes, if like for some reason we can't. Oh, we are missing this. We're missing this.
You're sick. I'm not that sick.
And like our kids will not miss church. Our kids have created their own friend groups in our church, and they also it's like they're just mini us, right? When they're out in the community, who do they mostly gravitate towards? Their church friend group. Like so it's just like they've seen us do it as adults.
Well, that's who they're with most of the time.
Because
we're with them.
Because
all the
we're
time.
with them.
So
like
who they're with.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like you want to like try like they're like people are so worried about the relationships their kids are getting into. I said if you the adults are in
It's kind of weird though because you look at our friend group from high school and that is not how it was formed at all. None of us went to the same church.
Yeah. Our youth group? Several people that were in our friend group went to our same youth group.
Not church though.
Well,
only a couple.
Me and the girls. I mean, there was 2 or 3 of us girls always at the same youth stuff.
All the guys weren't.
No, but like, okay, so this is once that segues us into this. So once I stopped teaching there for a hot minute, we started up the Wednesday night youth group, like an actual like
Yeah.
youth group. And what we have, like 4 or 5 kids
geez,
coming,
3 some weeks. Yeah.
and our kids were not old enough to go yet. And so we just like started it. We're going at it.
And it was
What
like
is
to the
this, year
point where
3?
we were almost like, because there was so the turnout was so bad that we were like, is this worth it?
Right. And then they're
But
like,
now,
okay, so now we have kids, and our kids are now in those friend groups. Like our kids, like our oldest kids class, the amount of people that were there on Wednesday from that grade level.
yeah, it was like,
I mean,
it was
we had
20 of
20.
us. Yeah.
We had 20, and half of them were from our kids' friend groups. So like our like the kids that have our kids that have their church friend groups have now invited all of the other kids that are not belonging
Yeah.
to our church to
And they're-
join us on Wednesday nights.
Yeah.
So now I would say it's probably, is it even, I was going to say it's split half and half, but it's probably even more. I think we have more kids coming to our Wednesday night youth group that don't go to our church
Oh, for sure.
than we
Than
have
we do
that
on
come.
Sunday.
Than we have that come to church.
Oh yeah,
So like
I would say.
so even our own kids are like doing their own style of
Ministry.
and it's
Outreach.
discipleship.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what it is. It's like they have their other friend groups outside of church, and they have invited those kids in, and our kids still have friends that don't go to church, maybe don't even share the same faith background. That's great too, but it just seems like our kids and their friends, in the activities that they do, there just always seems to be a theme of like, I have my church people with us. I have my core group. This is my core group, and I'm always coming back to this core group of people. And our kids love it, and our kids thrive off of it. Our kids have even like in our apartment, we've started writing down a verse of the week, where we write it on the board. Our kids, I have some books because we need to start it. They've asked several times for us to start like a family devotional to do a couple times a week at night. That was brought up by our kids. That was not my idea. That was their idea.
Cool.
And I would love to say that, oh, this means that my kids are going to grow. I mean, going to grow up and go out into the world and just be these
You don't know that.
little great ministry people. I mean, that's like my prayer. I'm not looking at this and being like, oh, my kids are perfect little angels and they're just so good and so great. And all. Like right now, they have a lot of the skills that they need in order to go out into the world and share the gospel. Like as a parent, that is my number one priority. Is when you leave my house, you will be a follower of Jesus, and you will be wanting to get other people to follow Jesus. Like that, at the end of the day, that's my number one priority, is that you have Jesus and you want other people to have Jesus. So like right now, from what I can see, our kids are set up in a way where they possibly will be doing that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, things can happen. You never know. I don't know the future, but I would love to sit here and say that Dalton and I did something miraculous and we did all of these things. And oh, Dalton and I read our Bible every day, and Dalton and I do that. Like we really are not.
Should.
Like we've been disciplined to do certain things. Like both of us have done reading the Bible in 100 days.
Yep.
A couple times.
Yep. Twice.
Both of us have been a part of different Bible study groups ourselves.
Yep.
Both of us have done like a lot of different things in a lot of different
I've gone
seasons.
from sitting in the car to being a drummer to being the worship leader now.
Right. And so we've made a lot of growth and a lot of gains in our ministry journey, but like we are not experts. We're not perfect. We are not living it out every day, all day, like we probably should be. But we've created opportunities for our kids to see other people lead, seeing ourselves lead, being able to get involved in other it's just a huge main part of our life.
Yep. It is.
And like even like who do we go camping with? Our church people. Like who do we like it's just I don't know, like it's just our group. I mean, we've even skipped family functions sometimes to go to church functions
Mm-hmm.
because those people, like I love our family, but like those people are our people, our core people. And I just think that that bleeds into every other aspect of life for kids. And so now with our son, like I can tell a huge difference now that we have 3 kids. Like our 2 oldest know the importance of church. They know the importance of faith. They know the importance of being a part of these groups or whatever. Our youngest, our son, does not know that. Like he is in the stage right now where he doesn't want to go to church.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, he argues and he cries a lot on Sunday mornings.
I don't think so.
He doesn't want to go down to children's church.
Oh. That's what you're talking about.
I'm talking about
I thought you were talking about leaving the door to get to church. Like leaving the house.
Well, sometimes I don't want to go to church.
He's usually pretty excited about going to church.
Not excited
he
like our other
wants to sing with his
excited.
dad on the stage every week.
I just think he hasn't gotten there yet.
No, I don't think so either.
He hasn't. He's too young right now to understand the. Once we're there, it's a lot better. But like, I'm remembering now that I'm like, oh yeah, we modeled this when our oldest were like that age. We modeled this. Like, we need to be better. Like, I need to be better at modeling this for him because he's at the age right now here. He doesn't really get it. He doesn't get the connection. He doesn't get like, we need to be better at reading Bible stories with him every day. We need to be better at openly praying with him. We need to be better at pointing out like, oh, our church friends are here. We're at this thing and look, they're here. And like, I just personally think I've just noticed, I don't know, now that he's like getting to be school age, I'm like, oh, we need to amp up. Like our oldest kids have just known it for so long. Like they've just got it. They just have like embraced it. They've just are all in. And I'm like, oh, we're kind of like, it's like we're starting over.
Basically.
Like we're starting like, oh, we get to teach this again. We get to show him why this is important again. And lucky for him, he has 2 older siblings who are all gung-ho about it, who are so good at reading to him. And, you know, our oldest are now even to the point where like they're signing up and they're volunteering.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're being part of the service. They're
the nursery.
Yes, they're like, and like they're getting to lead for him. Like one of them went downstairs with him today when he was in his little kids class and like helped with the littles and like they're getting to see, he's getting to see his older sisters as leaders. And I think that's fabulous. Like what a gift that is to have siblings that are that much older than you, that you get to watch them be a part of all this stuff. Like, so this, I should have said another high this week on my birthday. We held the event called See You at the Pole. So it's the nation.
I forgot about that again.
The nation. Well, you weren't there.
I mean, I forgot to bring it up.
Yeah. A nationwide event where you go out by your school flagpole and you pray, and it's a student-led event. And I was very skeptical. Number one, it always comes up on the calendar so fast. Like, it's like, oh yeah, that's happening. Oh, like we've done it a couple times, or it's just like a handful of us get together, do it, whatever. And I was like, I don't know, with our group being so young, I was like, I don't know if we have anybody in our group that's going to like be willing to lead this thing.
Like actually lead it in prayer.
Like get up in front of everybody,
Yeah.
introduce it, say what we're doing. I was like, I don't know if we have that. And so a couple weeks ago in our Sunday school class, I like opened the idea up to them and like, hey, this event is going on. A lot of them had never been there before because that's how young they are. Had never seen it before. It's like their first or second year of high school. So like they don't know what all of these events and things are. And right away they were like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And so then we had to like sit down and talk about it. And we talked about how like it's once you get into like the high school age, middle school, high school age, like your faith is your own thing. By that point, you should be kind of wanting to take it into your own hands, like doing Bible reading or devotions like on your own a little bit, like coming to church without your parents forcing you out of bed. Like you should be able to take a little bit of responsibility and understand the importance of this. So we talked about that for a little while. And by the end of the hour, I had 5 different people willing to volunteer. They got up in front of the congregation. They said, here's what we're doing. This is what we're doing. I had somebody that was like coordinating all the food. I had somebody who one of the students sent messages out to every single student in the school. One student called and communicated to make sure we had enough tables and whatever for all the snacks and whatever. We had 5 different leader groups of like one group was specific for like, hey, we're going to pray for athletes and clubs. One was like teachers and staff. One was students and families, like, different like groups. And so people kept asking me throughout the week. They're like, hey, how many muffins do I need to bring? How many donuts am I going to bring? Because our plan was this was going to be a half-hour event. For the first, we were going to let the people kind of rotate. You go to a group, let people pray for a couple minutes, whatever, rotate groups a couple times, and then everybody kind of just hang out, eat a muffin, have some breakfast, whatever. And people were asking me how many like muffins and donuts do we need to bring. And I said, I have no idea how many people are going to show up to this event. I said, I don't know if it's going to be 5. I don't know if it's going to be 100. I'm like, I have no idea, because then other people were asking me questions and I was like, I'm not running this event. Like, I'm like, I delegated kids or got some kids to volunteer and they just did it all.
So how many people were there?
66.
Wow.
And I think the year that we had last done it, there was 10.
That's pretty incredible.
But the best part of the whole thing is, so like people were like, like you always have those people who are like, am I going to go to that? Am I not going to go to that? Like kids are always kind of like nervous right away and whatever. And like we did have a great support from the community. Like there was, I think the word had gotten out to the community, posters were up or something. And I didn't have anything to do with that. I don't even know how that happened, because I sent the poster to my mom at the hospital. She's like, yeah, we already have this. No idea. I'm like, I didn't have anything to do with that. Like one of our leaders, like we were waiting around, there was like a couple minutes left. A couple of them go inside and I'm like, oh no, where are they going? Like they've got to like do the intro and whatever. Like 3 minutes later, they come back and I kid you not, there's at least 15 or 20 kids coming behind them from inside the school. So I'm like, I don't know if they went in and made an announcement that like, hey, we're going to be praying outside the school. Everybody should come.
Join us.
Like, but yeah, we filled the front lawn with different groups and our kids. It was kind of nice that we had some, like the Wednesday before we had youth group. And so we talked about this event that was going to be happening. We're like, hey, in a week, this is going to happen. And they actually all wrote down some prayers on paper. So like we had groups, like group of prayers, like for the athletic group, for the whatever group. So that like, I'm like, if you like, I want you to be comfortable, right? I don't want, like, I don't want to just like throw these kids to the wolves and like
totally
make them
put on the spot.
Yeah. And so I was like, I know you guys all have your own prayers, but I'm like, if you feel like you need a backup, like you can use one of these prayers. And so like they did that. Like one kid like opened his group up and was like, hey, anybody's welcome to pray. And like community people pitched in, other kids pitched in. Like I was surprised. Like I'm like, everybody is praying. Like this is great. And then like when there was a little bit of silence or whatever, a kid would pull out a piece of paper and be like, here's one of the prayers that one of the students wrote last week, and they'd pray that prayer, and then another person would jump in, another person would jump in. Like, I just anticipated it being like a lot of like awkward silence, people just staring at each other, not knowing what to do. But I was surprised, like, as soon as our kids stood up to lead that first prayer in their group, the amount of people that
By our kids, you mean
I mean, like,
from our church.
I mean, our church,
Yes.
yes, because like the whole running of
Yes.
this event came from our group. Yes, by our kids, I mean like our church youth, the church youth of our church. And so, I don't know. I was like, this has got to be a yearly event. Like, we got to put this on the calendar. And like, our kids ran it. Like, kids can do amazing things, incredible things. And like, I feel very grateful that our personal kids have been able to find themselves in these groups
Yeah.
that are doing these things, like being around other people that are leading them, being like, this is what we do. This is part of who we are. Like, I feel very blessed, is what I should say. Blessed to have that. So as we close out, do you have any other tips for families on like how to get themselves in a spot where they feel like their home is surrounded by faith-based?
Well, the order that you're supposed to live by is Jesus first, God first, spouse second. What's third technically? Kids, job, probably kids and then job, something like that. There's an actual
Yes.
like list, like legit.
I think
I'm just kind
it's
of going off the top of my head here.
God first, spouse second, kids third, and then is it friends and family, and then
Occupation.
occupation, or
something
like your job
that.
or something? Yeah. Someone will listen to this and be like, nope, that's not what the saying is. But
I know the
it's
first
close.
three are right.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like, because then there's this thing like if you put any of them in the wrong order, if you put your occupation first, then you won't have a good relationship with your spouse or a good relationship with your kids. If you
Or
put,
God.
yeah, or if you put your kids first, then you won't have a good relationship with here. If you don't have your family and your spouse and whatever in the right place, then you're not going to do very good at your
The
job.
only
And it's
way that list plays out is with God first.
correct. Yeah. And I think that that's just something that you have to instill in your home. And I would say if you haven't started, like, where's a good place to start is to check in with your spouse and sit down and have a conversation about where you're currently going to church. Is where you're currently going to church serving you and your family? Like, are you just kind of walking in and being a warm body to fill a pew? Are you actively participating? Are you creating opportunities for your kids to see you participate? Are you creating opportunity, or are there opportunities for your family to participate and be involved as a whole family unit all together? And if the answer is yes, I'm at a place like that, but I haven't really gotten involved, then figure out like what is the next step for you to get involved and be a part of a group. Be a part of creating some friendships. How do you create those friendships? How can you do that? And it's, if you're like, yeah, we have all that, but I just don't have that friend group, then to me it's like you're not going to the right events. If you're going to the events where you think that there's like-minded people, like, you got to put yourself out there a little bit to create the friendships and the bonds and the things.
Mm-hmm.
There is a resource that I've printed. I haven't really gone through it yet, but it's called I copy all of their things. Jeremy and Audrey Roloff have it's called a Family Values Planner, but it's basically like for all 12 months of the year they have a different family value and like a biblical Bible verse that goes along with their their value and like some just like key points of like things that they want to hit as a family during that month. So it's just a way like they have it like posted up so like their family can see and their kids can see and they can tell their kids like, hey, it's April. That's the month where like our value is get outdoors and get outside, and here's some key Bible verses that talk about how that's good for us and healthy for us, and here's some things that we can do to make sure that we're getting outside in April and that we're making that a priority or whatever it is. But just like, and you don't need a formal list of values to talk about that, but just so your whole family knows that like, here's what we're for, here's what we stand for, here's where our priorities are, and this is where we find our importance. And then it all kind of trickles down and just crazy things can happen. And
another thing is if you're feeling called to do anything in the church that you go to, is there something on your heart that you feel like you should be doing? And I say that because when I became a worship leader, like I feel like it was on my heart to do that long before, and I fought with it and fought with it. And I remember I was talking to our pastor about it, and he goes, we were just talking about it because I think we were talking about how some other people wanted to be worship leaders or something. I don't really remember. This was 4 or 5 years ago, but and I kind of asked him why I got allowed to be. And he simply asked me, well, Dalton, why are you up there? And I said, because I feel called to be up there. And I meant that. And I said, I don't think of it as a performance. I don't really care how I sound. I mean, obviously I care how I sound, but I'm not up there to care how I sound. I'm up there to praise God. I'm up there to praise Jesus and to lead the church in that way. And he goes, there you go. Exactly. So if you're feeling called,
if you're feeling a nudge,
if you're feeling called, I highly recommend taking the leap. It is scary, but it's worth it.
And you can always change your mind.
You can.
You know what? If
I've been trying to change my mind since day one. No, I'm kidding.
If you serve in the place of the church and you realize that's not for me, it's okay to change your mind and try some things out. It's like we're not glued to anything.
No. That's what's nice, that there's a couple worship leaders, so we don't have to be married to it. We get to take little breaks and rely on other people.
Yeah, and that helps. I mean, and that's with that's like the theme of this whole episode is finding other people to do life with.
Yep.
Finding other people to do life with who will be there alongside you as you raise your kids, as you make family decisions, as you grow in your church, how do you take your faith into your workplace, like doing life together. That is, to me, that is biblical church, and it's what we as humans were created for, and it's the best place to start if you're wanting to get your family on a track that lives a faith-based life.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good place to end it.
Beautiful.
So get out, get involved. If you have any other questions or comments or anything about this topic or another topic, maybe it sparks something else that you want us to talk about, feel free to reach out and we will talk about whatever you want to talk about, because this was an idea from somebody and they wanted to know more about it, and there it is.
Hopefully it answered their question.
Yeah, hopefully it answered their question, and if not, follow up and we'll clarify or add more, or I'm always in for a part 2. You never know. So we'll see where it leads. So we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.